super heavy on one side.
Can we go join? Come up and help?
Sure. Is there? You really want to see the whole page, you know.
I think we should have join because I don't think there's any other kids. Even us also.
Oh, dude, yeah. All right, it's going to be a little intimidating. It's really funny. This is loose Vita. The book was a really good invention. The acoustics in this, what's up, big guy? The acoustics in this room are really weird. You can like hear all the kids in the back of the class. It's very strange. So that means you got to sing a little bit too. But you should have fun too. Glad to see you guys here. The boys, all right. What's up, guys?
nice.
Look at the back row. Look at this. Look at the gallery.
Welcome, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. You guys in the back are hysterical.
Really, it's funny. It's just
hysterical.
funny.
What if we told you that we only call on people who sit in the back row?
yeah.
The front seats are so available. Totally
Made yourself so
fine.
vulnerable.
Fine. No problem. No, I think we're good. All right. So we are going to start just by welcoming each other with some words of Hine Matov Umanayim, just to be able to say how good and precious it is to be here together as brothers and sisters, family and friends on page 10. Hine Matov Umanayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Yes, you guys sound beautiful. All right, so I am all like confuzzled today. I've got so many papers. Okay, so while I figure myself out, let's do our candle blessings and our kiddush. And those can be found all the way in the beginning of your Siddur, of your prayer book. We're going to start with our candle blessings, which can be found on page 2. Rabbi Michael, would you mind taking it away? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. And then we're going to turn to our kiddush, which can be found on page 4.
ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל
בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. For Chalem, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Done for me. When we bring Shabbat into our midst, one of the things we do is we welcome the Shabbat angels as well, thinking that perhaps this time of week is so special that it's as if there's a little extra sense of blessing among us. And so on page 24, we welcome those angels with the words of Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharit, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Kadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Seidchem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we turn together to page 28, and I invite you to rise now as we call each other to worship with the words of the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. On 31.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows.
Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. On 33, we read together. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean this struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Baruch Atah, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Israel. And we join in Shema on page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher nochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'beitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, u'shochbecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam la'ot al yadecha, v'ayu letotafot b'neinecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha, leman tizkeru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, Vitem kadoshim leloechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, Lihiot lachem leluhim, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. And we sing on page 40, the Michamocha. Michamocha, Bailim Adonai, days of repentance, the high holy days, are over, but we still have holidays yet to come because you were told that the minute Yom Kippur ends, you should go home and put the first nail in your sukkah. We actually started ours a little bit early here at Temple Israel. We're so eager to get that sukkah up. But the beautiful thing about Sukkot is that really this is something we talk about all year long, because whenever we sing our Michamocha in the evening, we always follow it by a prayer that asks God to spread a sukkah over all of us at all times. And that's Hashkivenu, which can be found on page 42. Rabbi Michael's favorite. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, so we always take a little break right around the holidays to not have B'nai Mitzvah because it's a little bit of a crazy time, but
Well, there are some B'nai Mitzvah students that are working overtime right
indeed, they will soon start again. So we are going to invite our upcoming B'nai Mitzvah students to come on up, and they are going to help us in Tefillah. And as they make their way up here, we will invite everyone else to please rise on page 46.
Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu, Ve'imoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Hasdei Avot Imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Aman Shemo Me'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atarav L'Choshia, Mehalkel Hayim B'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol B'Rachamim Ramim, Somech Noflim Verofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umechayim Emunato, Lishanei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umito Melach, Melech Meimit, Umechayim, Umatzmiach Yeshua, U'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol.
On page 53, days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence like lightning illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. And we'll turn now on page 60, and we will offer a prayer for peace over us, over our country, over Israel. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Ki atah melech alon, ki chol Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. During the High Holy Days, when we came to this next part of our service, the Mishaberach, I always hate having to say that we aren't going around and asking people for names, but the truth is when we're in a room that's that big, it's very hard to be able to hear from everyone. But here, when it's just us, it's much easier to know that we can really turn our hearts and our thoughts to people who are in need of healing. So if there's someone that you're thinking of at this time who would appreciate knowing that their names were being shared here and you'd like to share them, I'd invite you to do so at this time. Thinking too tonight of Dave Beal and of Arlene Alper and Lisi Weinstein and of all those names who we're just saying in our hearts. On page 253, we offer a Mishaberach for them and for each of us. Mishaberach avotenu mekol source of strength, oh bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Oh, say shalom, b'imromav, oh, ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'yakol Yisrael, ve'imeru Amen. Oh, say shalom b'imromav, oh, ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'yakol Yisrael, ve'imeru Amen. So a month or so ago, we made the decision that on First Fridays, we would read a little Torah. And so even though you guys have heard a lot of Torah recently, you get to hear a little bit more. So okay, please rise.
I think we can invite people up after.
Yeah. Mitzion Tetzei Torah 246. Ki mitzion Tetzei Torah Udevar Adonai Mirushalayim. Next page. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah Le'amo Yisrael B'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Lecha Adonai
Hagivura, Hatiferet, Ve'hanetzach Ve'ahor. Kichol Hashamayim U'va'aretz, Kichol Hashamayim U'va'aretz.
Lecha Adonai Amayim Lecha V'minaseh Lechol Erosh. So tonight we are going to read from Parshat Ha'azinu, which is at the very, very, very end of the Torah portion of the Torah, but we are going to do our blessings together, and so this is good practice for our B'nai Mitzvah students. The blessings are on page 250. Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvorach, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, V'natan Lanu Et Torato, Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah. So big. All right, so Rabbi Michael's going to translate. Okay. And you're ready. Ha'azinu hashamayim va'adabera v'tishma ha'aretz imrefi.
Give ear, O heavens, let me speak. Let the earth hear the words I utter.
Ya'arov kamatar lekhi tizal katal imrati kisirim ale deshe v'chirvivim ale esev.
May my discourse come down as the rain, my speech distill as the dew, like showers on young growth, like droplets on the grass.
Shem Adonai ekra havu godel Eloheinu.
For the name of Adonai I proclaim, give glory to our God.
Hatzur tamim ba'alo ki chol dorachav mishpat el emunah ve'ein avel tzadik ve'yashar hu.
The rock whose deeds are perfect. Yes, all God's ways are just, a faithful God, never false, true and upright indeed.
Shiched lo banim uma dor ekesh uftaltol.
Unworthy children, that crooked, perverse generation, their baseness has played God false.
L'Adonai timgalu zot, am naval v'lo chacham, halo hu avicha kanecha, hu ascha vayekonencha. We got to get to a nice line. We're almost there.
Do you thus requite Adonai, O dull and witless people? Is this not the Father who created you, fashioned you, and made you endure?
Zachor yamot olam beino sheno dor vador, sha'alavecha v'gadcha zeknecha vayomru lach.
Remember the days of old. Consider the years of ages past. Ask your parents, who will inform you, your elders, and they will tell you.
That's a nice line. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. So the coolest thing about this Torah portion is that there are only 2 Torah portions in the entire Torah that are songs. There's like one that's like a mini song, but we don't count that. But there's 2 real songs. One of them is called Shir HaShirim, and it is when Moses and the Israelites all fled out of Egypt, and it has a very special appearance. It looks sort of like bricks, and it has a special tune. This is the other one that has a special appearance that I want you to see, but it is super, super heavy, and I made Rabbi Michael get the heaviest Torah. So we are going to ask Jonah and Eli, since they are our most recent bar mitzvah, they are going to come and help
spot me.
Rabbi Michael lift this incredibly heavy Torah.
Your elder who will
And we
tell
will
you.
invite you all to please rise and see what this looks like. All right.
Fans of MC Escher, you will like
So
this.
he's going to lift it, and then he's going to turn.
Yes, I'm going to lift it up, but you help me hold it up.
זאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. See those cool, crazy-looking columns? That's what we're talking about. Nicely done.
Walk me.
You got it.
Okay. Got it.
Beautiful. Thank you. Very nice.
When was the last time a bar or bat mitzvah student had that portion that they had to jump? You have to jump across the columns.
So
in order
quite
to read
honestly, I don't think we ever have B'nai Mitzvah read this Torah portion.
Really?
Because when
I
it
feel
is.
like- Okay. That's tough. But beautiful.
So as you know, because many of you were here, the high holidays are over. They're not really over. We still have Sukkot and Simchat Torah, but the big ones, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, are over. And so people always come up to Rabbi Michael and me and they say, oh, don't you guys feel so relieved that it's over? And there is a part of us that's always relieved. Especially, it's not just about did the sermons go okay, was the music okay, but especially now in sort of this whatever pre-post whatever COVID era we're in right now, there's so many things that could go wrong. Someone could get COVID, the internet could go down, and people couldn't watch it from home. So all of those things, yes, it is a relief to have them behind us. But honestly, more than anything, after the holidays, I get this weird sense of unease. And what I think it is that for so many of us, and not just the rabbis, but really all of us, when it comes to the high holidays, there's a lot of things that we have to think about. You have to make sure that you have, told the kids' school that they're not coming in, so it's an excused absence. Maybe you have to deal with mishigas at work if you aren't able to get the day off. And then, you have to make sure that you have something nice to wear, your kids have something nice to wear, that everyone has somewhere to go and something to eat. Maybe you're having people over at your house and you've got to stress about that. There's so many things to think about on the high holy days that for many of us, myself included, I always forget about the tshuva part. I always forget that the high holy days really have nothing to do with any of that, about dressing up nice or how good the music is or how good the sermons are. It's about, did you take these 10 days and reach out to people who you have hurt? Did you do the work that needs to be done to make sure that, as our tradition says, you are inscribed in the book of life for another year? And so I always get this feeling of unease, almost panic, and it hits me at the same time. It hits me at the very end of the Ne'ilah service. Now, I will not take it personally, but most of you have gone home by then. You're putting the kugel in the oven. I understand. It's totally fine. But the very last thing that we do, that we say on Yom Kippur here, and we've done it for the past few years, is Rabbi Michael and I, we read this poem, and it's by Rabbi Becky Silverstein. And she talks about this idea of asking God to keep the gates open for just a little bit longer. And it's so amazing. And every time I read this, and honestly, I practice it. I practice it to make sure that I don't cry. And every year I start crying, and I just can't help it because there's something about it that is so beautiful. And it's right when I'm having this moment of panic. Oh my gosh, I forgot to actually do the Jewish thing for the high holidays. And she gives you this image of subway doors about to close. And these doors are about to close, and she's saying, I will stick my hand in there and I will hold them open for you. And I was thinking about that idea and what it would be like if someone would just stick their hand in that door for us and give us just a little while longer. But I wonder if what we just read in the Torah does just that. Because you could see that the way that this Torah portion looks, which is so weird, and there is no explanation for why it would look like that, but it looks like it's these two doors, these two strange parallels, and I can almost imagine that space in between them is just this little bit of extra time that God is putting out there for us to say, oh, did you not do the right thing between the High Holy Days? Because you still have a little more time. Because even though we are told that at the end of Yom Kippur, that the day that the gates are closing, we know that in our Torah, we're not quite done yet. We will not actually start the Torah again until Simchat Torah, until Jacob's bar mitzvah. So until we get to his bar mitzvah, we have this little span of time with these last few lines of the Torah as if God is saying, you're not quite done yet. You have just a little more time. So my friends, if you, like me, I fully admit, may not have done the work that you needed to do this year to really ensure that you are being written in God's big book for this year, let ha'azinu, let this Torah portion in the image of those subway gates, maybe let it make you think that God is holding those gates open for you just a little bit longer. May you do something about it. So, at this time, we are going to take this incredibly heavy Torah, we are going to return it to the ark. Do you want me to play a song? You want to just do it? Okay. Everyone to please rise.
No switches.
Romamu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lahar kodsho. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lahar kodsho. And we continue with the Aleinu on the bottom of page 282. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו And so even as we gather together honoring the beginning of the year, we know too that we are also remembering those whose time with us has ended, and especially we recall with love the names of those taken from us in recent days, and our hearts go out to their families in sympathy as we recall their names: Dr. Robert Lefton and Franklin Mange. We now recall the names of those, the anniversary of whose death occurs on this Shabbat, and whose names have been inscribed in the archives of our congregation or on the Wall of Honor for perpetual memorial: Nathan Altshul, Sarah Schweitzer Altshul, Fanny Blatt, Harold Bossy, Samuel Brash, Ann Kohlenbrenner Brenner, Abraham Cohn, Ben H. Cohn, Margaret Voorhees Cohen, Reuben Cohn, Geraldine Seidel Coppersmith, Francis Cutler, Nathan Lewis Davis, Raymond Samuel Davidson, Sidney Aaron Davidson, Isidore Enoch, Eli Losses Esserman, Jenny Michael Frank, Rose Fremder, Donald Gelman, Ida Glazer, M. Harold Grober, August Hyman, Ruth Hyman, Gittel Yetta Heldenstein Kalischer, First Lieutenant Jack Herman, Sigmund Hilberg, Clarence Hirsch, Bernard Isaacs, David Isaac Kalisher, Mendel David Kalisher, Rose Cutter Kaplan, Alvin Sidney Kelter, Saul Klein, Flora Korngold, Carol A. Korngold, Milton J. Ladney, M. Don Lampert, Dr. Alfred Latman, Etta Lazarowitz, Sylvia G. Liberman, Paul Robert Litt, Dr. Sidney Marshall Massey, Anita Medali, Bernard Ritzer, Sadie Rosenblatt, Leon Harrison Rosenblum, Jenny Rothschild, Julius Sanger, Betty Jean Schneider, Louis Silverstein, Merle Silverstein, Rabbi Solomon Sunshine, Louis Steinbaum, Sidney Sverin, Mary Waldman, Myrtle Goldwasser Weaver, Josie Weil, Dr. Samuel Wolf, Dora Sofra Yanau, Salem Yellen, and Bella Zucker. So with those names and the names we keep in our hearts, we turn together to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divarach yirtzeh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayachon uvyomechon, uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv emaru amen. Yehei shlam Rabbah v'varach la'olam u'mei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha barichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran ba'ama v'emru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'emru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'emru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And we say, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Please be seated. So a few words before we turn to our closing song. Next week is when we are going to be celebrating Sukkot. We also are going to, next week, as part of I think it's called the Back the Blue program, we are going to be honoring our police officers who do so much to support our community. And so we hope you'll come for all of those different celebrations of the ways that we feel protected by God and by our community. And then the week after that is Simchat Torah, where we all come together and we read the last few lines of the Torah, and then we start all over again. We will be back in the main sanctuary for that one. If you haven't been here for that before, it's awesome. And we haven't done it since COVID, and it's pretty incredible because we unroll the entire Torah, and it is so cool. So we hope that you will join us for any of those. Which one do we do? All right, so for our last song, we are going to do this one.
Test their lilac lights.
I know you guys know this one because I've been working with you on this. This is Yedid Nefesh, and you can find the words. Let's see if Ella, if you can beat me to Yedid Nefesh. 332. Gotcha. Usually Ella knows first. All right, so you guys know.
It's a new year. We're slow.
Don't worry, we're not doing the whole thing. We're just doing the beginning of it. Just the beginning of it, and you guys know there's a part where you sing, yeah, lie, 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 lie. And if you don't do it, we're going to stop and do it all over again. So, you got to do it. Yedi nefesh av Rahman, Yedi nefesh av Rahman, Meshoch avdecha, Eretz onacha, Meshoch avdecha, Ya la 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 la, Eretz onacha, Yarutz avdecha, Ya la 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 el mul hadracha. You guys are so beautiful. One more time. Yedi nefesh av Rahman, Yedi nefesh av Rahman, Meshoch avdecha, Eretz onacha, Meshoch avdecha, Yada lai 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 Eretz Onacha. Beautiful. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
We have extra challah. If anybody wants a second bite. Mom medicine. Did you see? I lose these like.